Hello, everybody. Ah, beautiful. Let's get some more chill vibes on today. And while I do that, I'm gonna open up and get the Lyle convoy in here. I've got him in.
You got who in?
I got you in.
Oh, why would you go and do that?
Because I want people to be tortured by you personally.
Based?
So hello everyone. I see the chat is going oh so very fast, but yes, say hello to Lyle Convoy, who is also in the stream today.
He's holding me hostage and making me watch a whole bunch of weird anime. Please send help.
I did not force you to watch Beastars. You just requested. He's a furry.
Oh yeah, I totally just said, you know what? We should all watch Beastars. Did you know that's not what happened?
You're a fucking furry. Accept it.
Don't do this to me.
That is what's gonna happen right now. You're gonna be fucking furry. So yeah, hello everyone. Hello. It has been a day because well, I'm awake. I'm more awake than I have been at 10 o'clock at night. That is beautiful. I was very worried because I worked my first shift today. So I was like, will I be alive? We are alive. I hopefully have fixed the gain on my microphone so it's not too bad for all of you. Please, I am so sorry if it is. You know me and women and technology. I'll use sexism to get out of fixing things because that's the kind of person I am. But what I won't be doing is what a certain YouTuber has been doing oh so recently and has been, well... What is it that they've been doing? Oh, right. Yeah, that's it. They've been using being Latino to get out of being criticized for what they've done in the past. So, luckily, only one of them has been. That's one thing I'll give Jackie, but Nyx is a whole other beast. So, just to do a quick rundown... Lyle, do you wanna do a breakdown as what's happened from just a general breakdown of what the Glitchtale is like up to the point of this stream, because people have heard enough out of me talking about this stuff.
Okay, but real quick before I do, somebody in the stream said I was their husband, and I am uncomfy because it wasn't my wife that said it. But anyways. Alright, so the TLDR is that Camila Cuevas of the Glitchtale infamy had a child predators, plural, in her server, and chose not to do anything about it, despite knowing all the stuff that had happened. So we investigated it, and by we, I primarily mean Peaches here. She did all the heavy lifting, all the lead work, to get these statements and testimony from Crystal, one of the main people who was preyed upon, because there were multiple of them, unfortunately.
Yes.
A video was put out, several videos were put out detailing this, and Camila Cuevas never took proper accountability. Instead did a pity me stream, Let's Play League, where she makes herself sound like the victim of all things, because when you have a relative passing away, clearly that completely changes your moral perspective. Then we cut to some people on Twitter who were acting very sus by the names of Nyx the Shield and Jackie. And the way they were acting made everybody go, this is sus. So we started looking at logs a little deeper, and we were given the exports of some Skype logs where we found out that these individuals had full knowledge of what Veer was doing, up to and Veer literally admitting that he had child porn, and they were fine with it. They made constant jokes in the chat about how the kids have done worse. The kids are sexual, and making comments towards each other about this stuff. So Jackie and Nyx, when they found out that we had a little inkling of an idea, tried to threaten Crystal, saying like, if you don't side with us on this instead of them, I'm going to kill myself. Literally, that's what was said.
Yeah,
and talking about how well I could ruin these.
Say that, yeah.
Yeah, and then they went on about how, I could ruin their reputations with my million sub platform, which you can't ruin my reputation. I'm a toy collector. It's already gone. Secondly, we went ahead and checked into everything here and found out that these people are severely off in their brain. So they have been melting down on Twitter. They have been losing their minds. And have instead decided to double down on all things. Nick's initially trying to say that preying on kids is common in Latino culture, which is a fascinating take of all things. And then now Jackie's trying to say that all of these are fake and not real, and that somehow we're racist for something that Nick's said, which is fascinating behavior for adults.
Yeah, so I want to bring up the conversation initially, which brought up the whole "it's a Latino" thing in the first place, because this is one of the very first things that I've seen since Jael Peñaloza and Nix the Shield has addressed these situations. A lot of people, luckily do understand the difference between something, bad crimes happening in certain countries and certain others, and then, using it as an excuse to just get out the way. So, a lot of them have eventually turned around. I think Jackie just tried to push it in to one of her responses, which I will get to, that I was somehow xenophobic against Latinos, and so is Lio, apparently, because he's not Latino. He's white as fuck, apparently. So,
clearly, I'm not Hispanic at all, despite my freaking surname.
So, I just want to go over initially the first instance of the "it's Latino" thing, because I think in my video I showed this whole screenshot, but who knows? I already know there was an editing error in my video, and that is the one thing that I'll give Jackie. When I get to it, I'll explain. But, so I want to show in this screenshot what exactly Nix, in the year of our Lord and Savior 2022, what he was saying was a Latino thing, before we go into anything. Crystal says, I'm sorry, chat, I dehydrate very quickly right now after surgery. I'm so sorry. Crystal says, yeah, they all act like they knew everything when they didn't, because Camilla actively didn't tell them the whole truth. Even in Camilla's latest post, yes, she put her hands up to a lot of events and a lot of things I never thought she would. But she also tripled down on information which isn't true and has proven to be so. She knew about some of Veer's actions back in 2014 when Veer was, quote, dating one of the mods, which was a minor at the time. She knew about Veer adding me to a chat with me, her and him to get nudes out of her when I was 13. Nick says, oh, 2014 is rough here. Crystal continues with, but yet she still says only found out a year ago. I don't get it. I really don't. Nix the Shield then says, before 2018, it was normalized to date minors. It's a Latino thing. It's horrible, but it was normalized. It's still extremely normalized nowadays. So, in this chat, it isn't just talking about dating children or talking, not even dating. A lot of the things that Nix has been saying, to backtrack, to restart myself because I'm terrible with streams, I do apologize. What Nix has been trying to push is that it's normalized in Latino culture to not mind their language, which I do believe, and I will understand to an extent what Nix has been saying, because if you think about to the early the early age of the internet, a lot of people would say very raunchy things that maybe they shouldn't have done around younger people, or maybe people who've just come onto the internet and just trying to acclimate. They don't really mind, they aren't really mindful of the ages around them. So that is one thing that I will say. Internet culture has evolved to the point where people now know to make sure and keep a mental note in their brain who they're talking to and where. That's why we have 18 plus spaces now rather than putting raunchy stuff on the internet for all to see. However, that's not what Nyx is discussing here. What Nyx is specifically discussing is dating minors one-on-one, which I don't believe at any point of the internet, any time, that was a normal thing to do unless we already fell into a very creepy territory. But not only that, he's also saying it's normal to have pornography and nudes both from and around children, which again isn't something that like, for it, let's say I'm just using the internet culture as an example because that's something that's a very international culture. That was never normalized. Yet this is what Nyx is saying is both normalized in 2022 to try and... He's not here to defend Veer, but he's here defending Camilla with what he's saying.
Well, that and, like, Latino culture as a whole isn't the same as internet culture, obviously. He's not saying, well, I didn't think to watch myself, I didn't think to care about that because internet culture. He's literally pigging it on Latino culture. So I'm just going to go ahead and be blunt here. Here's things that are more prevalent in Latino culture than this. Destroying somebody's property over football. Football. Saint Seiya. Mazinger. Dragon Ball. These are all more common in Latino culture and more prevalent than this nonsense, which isn't, by the way. Or if it is seen, it's a definite negative. There's a reason why people watch themselves, because being more raunchy in Latino culture also isn't generally accurate, especially when you have mixed ages, because I will tell you from experience, Hispanic or Latinos, they're prudes when it comes to what they talk about around kids. There's a reason why the chancla is a feared thing in all languages. All right, you don't want to piss off the matriarch of the family. And the matriarch of the family is very particular about what you say around other people because mixed group of people. Don't do that. Mijito, don't say that. All right, there's a reason why I only had to backtalk my grandma once. And I learned never to do it again. All right, it's why I can't watch Terminator 2 again. I got whooped. But more importantly, that's the point. For those of you who are wondering, on a scale of 1 to Latino, how much I am one, technically I'd say 25% if you don't count just general Hispanics. I'm Hispanic enough to not know the language well, but to also recognize that about 2 miles from my house there's a taco truck with its own Dragon Ball OC, and I can promise you they have the best tacos in town. So that's on the scale I'm at.
Yeah, from yours, obviously, I wanted to go over the Latino thing first, because it's the thing that Nyx and Jackie, more Nyx than Jackie, so round of applause in chat for Jackie to not fall into that quite yet. Iffy on whether they're fully doing that. Nyx has been very adamant that all of this is racism against Nyx and Jackie, specifically xenophobia. So if I go off this and go on to others, because you may be thinking this is just a one-off thing, which it could be, and I would fully understand. I mean, it's a fucking terrible screenshot, but I could understand if you were like, I don't know if that's what is going on here. Let's go on to some tweets that he's been making recently. So I'm gonna pull these up one by one. Conversation. Let's go.
Real quick while you're pulling that out. For those of you wondering about the icon here, it was done by Missy like 3 years ago. It's actually my Facebook profile picture, and I've never changed it because I just find it so goofy. And that's why Peaches wanted to use that in the stream, because it's hilarious. Like any aggression and threat about me as a person is immediately mitigated when you see it coming out of the mouth of this little hell gremlin.
Yeah, so we'll move on to, before we get on to Jackie's response, because Nyx has been doing the worst, and we'll go from worst to best. The scale on good is very low. So if, as you can see in this screenshot, they're directly talking about the video I made. So you've got this Pingo who's one of the moderators of the Underverse server. They work with Nix's Shield and Jackie Animations. And in here, they're saying, explaining something problematic of what used to be considered normal back in the years is not saying that they were okay with it, question mark, question mark. Did you even read the doc at this point? Because Nick literally explains it and again took accountability for his past actions already. Steph comes in. I've been seeing Steph around and they followed me recently and I was like...
You want me to read it out?
Yeah, you can be Steph.
He did not respond to his Skype chats. He responded to something else, and at the time only apologized because he got caught. The culture thing is a flat-out lie. Yes, I agreed that messed up things were normalized before in some countries, but after seeing the Skype chats, it is blatantly obvious that no one, not even Chile, condones his behavior, and the fact that most of his responses revolve around using his culture as an excuse to get him out of the controversy says a lot. Literally 95% of his responses are, yeah, it's a Chilean thing.
Yeah, so Nyx then comes back into the fold, saying, this is so racist, it's not even funny. But I have come to expect that from Peach's followers at this point. Everybody, we're all racist. High five your fucking neighbor, I guess. You have 50 pages of my entire chat with Crystal and over 60 tweets addressing the situation from 3 months ago. There is nothing else I can add to this. My boy. Let's bring up... just my boy.
My boy. Ooh, more to read?
There is more to read.
Racist? Please quote me on the racist things I said. I read your entire doc and your threads multiple times, and it's very hard to believe that they're genuine when they're plastered with excuses. I'm not talking about Peaches, nor Crystal. I'm talking about your Skype chat. I was willing to believe the culture thing at first because I live in a similar environment. But after seeing the Skype chats, you can't keep using it as an excuse. A normal human being... Sorry, it keeps cutting out of me. Wouldn't talk like that in front and about children, Nyx.
Yeah, so even after being told this, because if you've seen Nyx's doc, he quite literally never brings up the Skype chats because he can't. It's literally, he had to wait extra time and work with and hide behind his wife to be able to discuss the Skype chats. It's quite sad, which we'll get to shortly. Nick says, and that is racist. I am sorry. You are making assumptions about a culture you have no idea about and making judgment calls based on that. You have no idea how fucked up we grew up and how many years it took to unlearn normalized behaviors that are still commonplace here. Which, that alone is terrible because I'll say as somebody who has grown up being groomed from one person to the next over and over, if I was somebody who basically had a very external locus of control, I would, basically a loser who would just sit there and go, well, the world's telling me I should do this, so I might as well. I would have then gone around, grooming kids myself. I wouldn't be seeing this and going, that's reprehensible. Because if you go through a scenario, you know what it's like to go through that scenario. You know what it does. And with Nyx, I do not believe that he himself is a predator or Jackie is themselves a predator. But what they have done is helped normalize a situation in where kids can talk to adults like Veer in a very sexual manner or be talked about in a very sexual way, and at that point in their development it really fucks them up. And if Nyx is here saying that he knows that because it fucked him up too, then that means that one, he's cognizant of the fact that it fucked him up, and two, the fact that he knows how it feels, which he should have been able to hold himself accountable. And the way that he's responding here by calling it racist to even call it out is clearly showing that he's cognizant of the fact that he did something bad, something that hurt him, but he just doesn't really want people to talk about it.
I already said that I believed you on that, but you keep deflecting my actual questions. The Skype group was from 2017, of which you were 23 to 34 at the time. You're not addressing this, even in your new doc. I find it weird how you also kept this hidden until now.
So, correction on Steph there. Nyx the Shield would have been 21 to 22 years old during those Skype chats. Obviously, by the time that he was still in the server of Camila Cuevas's from November of 2022 and still a head moderator there, he would have been 27. To my understanding, I could be 1 year out, but it's 27. So, we continue on with Nyx saying, I was literally 21 and I already addressed it months ago. It's quite literally on the first paragraph. It is not. Because if we go, right, a little segue, okay, we'll go for a little segue on Nyx's tweets. These tweets. We'll bring them up. We gotta do a lot of zooming. He really fucking talks. He says on this what he's talking about months ago, bringing it up because this is the first time he ever spoke about the GTC and Camila Cuevas. He says, I read some mean comments lately and I just want to be super clear. I haven't related to Glitchtale since at least 2022, November 2022 to be precise. I never considered myself part of a community and went through so much shit while doing stuff for it that my mental health was completely destroyed. For people who thought I was an admin of the server, that was just in paper. I was constantly de-admin, demodded, and kicked from the server through the years for simple stuff like asking the rest of the mod team to not say slurs or standing up against the midnight crew. I personally left the server for a long while because I did not want to be around some of the people there. So if we go through more, he talks about income, which is already silly based on if you think about it. He would talk about the fact that he wasn't commissioned for everything, which if you're being paid an exposure, why would you want to be? If you keep scrolling down. So finally he talks about it. Allegations where partner Veer was accused of grooming minors from 2015 to 2021. So he talks about videos out there, alongside two other mods. Even Crystal went through abuse coming forward. Because of this, I asked directly by one of the victims and represented by other victims to please not speak up. We all know this is a lie because we debunked all of this in my video, which is one thing that Nyx hasn't been able to address either. And you go through this whole thread. Please stop me if I am wrong, Lio. But we go through this whole thread, and he never brings up the fact that he was sexual around children. And was sexual to the point of having Veer talking about children in a very grotesque way, as well as another user and friend of the group called Magic Gamer 100, aka Nick, aka Daddy, as he's nicknamed on Skype. Yeah, no, not a single mention. So that's just a flat out lie. So, to continue.
All right, gotta zoom in. Months ago, didn't you address the other inappropriate chats that you had with other kids? At the time, I actually believed you when you said it's a cultural problem. I defended you and Jackie multiple times because, again, I live in a similar environment. I don't know what the deal between you and Peach is, but the fact that you were planning on getting your fan base against her for just exposing your past is very fishy and doesn't show remorse to me. And the whole speech about how Jackie was suicidal a long time ago that you did to Crystal right before proposing to turn your huge fan base against Peaches really felt wrong.
This is stuff that Nyx turned around and didn't respond to. So, we've got a situation where Nyx is essentially just saying everything's just just racist. What was it says? What was it that he specifically? I'm sorry, I have to go through all of my I have a lot of folders. I do apologize. I think the final one here. There we go. Where it continues.
About the Skype chats, I don't know anymore because I actually agree that there are many distinctual cultures out there, but at the same time, I really can't wrap my head around the things you said to 12-year-olds. You and Cammy come from a similar background. I don't understand why you would be excused, but Camilla wouldn't.
So Nixon responds with, my memories are too fuzzy about the Skype chat to say anything concrete. If there were minors around, then it was my bad for not asking. I can only own up to whatever there is, which is why I addressed this already. She has never owned to anything, by the way, lol. I don't know if that she is referring to Camilla or myself, but oh well. So we go through this, right? And this is Nyx's first statement. That if there were children, then it was his bad for not asking. Which we know that he knew there was children there, because I have the entire Skype history. So I could go through all of these, but I'm gonna bring up one which is very telling, which is right here. It goes from bottom to top. Do apologize. But you've got Yellow here, which is a child, 14 at the time, saying, Nick, there are children here. So when a 14-year-old is saying there are children here, that means there are ones younger, which there were. There was one presumably around 11 years old. Link Wolf, an adult, just laughing. Magic Gamer, the one I mentioned, saying they will learn someday. And Veer specifically says, these children have drawn worse. Trust me. And Philippe, aka Nyx the Shield, says, these children have done worse. Trust me. Now, considering...
Well, we have to say it right. This children.
This children.
Much mouth.
Though the thing that perplexes me is this conversation is... What he says is very similar to what Veer says. These children have drawn worse. Trust me. And we know that Veer knows what these kids have done, because I went through the Skype chats with Veer and Crystal. So the blanked out spaces is because Crystal's dead name was their Skype name, and that's why it's blocked out, but it is from Crystal's logs, and again, whatever. But yeah, you've got here, this is from a private chat, not the open chat, just to make a clarification. You've got them saying also, if you really want pictures, I have the ones Yellow drew, the 14-year-old, in the other screenshot. You want to see them. And he proceeds to send the images. Which, if you want to know what happened just before then, I could bring up the entire conversation if needed. So this is the one right before I realized. Let's bring all these up, I guess. So yeah, he's literally just constantly talking about these kids. And then he goes in, oh yeah, when we asked, it's just, yeah. So the fact that Nyx here is saying that he doesn't know, but then he's saying these children have done worse. Trust me. Why are we trusting you, bro, that these kids have done worse? Because we know why Veer knows. It's just very suspicious. And the one thing that I do want to add, and this is purely not just the Nyx thing, but it is definitely a Veer thing, and it's very common with what Veer did, is that I really hate myself. I realized that while I haven't named any of the screenshots in my one with Veer, so I have to go through them a little bit. Oh yeah, there we go. I just fell onto the right one. I guess I've been using these chat logs so much, I remember the fucking numbers at this point. But here we go. This is why I'm very suspicious of the Glitchtale group in general. We don't know who specifically it was that Veer was sharing these images, but Veer says, I wish I had permission to share some stuff with you. If you were 2 years older, I'd just do it anyway. This is talking to 14-year-old Crystal, believing that 16 is the age of consent in the UK, therefore fine to send what he's got of these children. So the fact that Veer is here, saying that he would just share what he's got, and considering I've got other screenshots that I sadly can't share in this stream, only because there's a few more things I have to do before showing my hand too early on that community. I've got other screenshots of Veer also saying in another community about sharing the illicit material he's got of children in there too. Again,
yeah, he was really proud of talking about that stuff in these screenshots.
Oh, he was. I showed Lio that it was so gross. But yeah, now that we've gone through that, because that's essentially what Nyx has been just saying, and then a side tangent, I definitely know that other people in the Glitchtale group did, like, obviously would have been seeing stuff, or at least was asked by Veer if they wanted to see it, because he was very open, very, very open, to the point of talking in general chats of Discord servers about the illicit material he's got, while, you know, Camilla Cuevas was also in that chat.
Yeah.
It's...
As long as it didn't bother her. As long as Veer didn't come to her for looking for news. He didn't care if he dated the 13-year-olds on the mod staff.
Nope. So that's going through that. And again, I do want to make this clear as we're going through. When I'm bringing up Veer, I'm talking about Veer because he's the... I don't want to say main predator because that is entirely wrong, but that was the predator that was known about from the Glitchtale community since 2015. Because he was very open in the Skype chats. So to move on now to the Jackie response, because that's what we're here for, right? Mm-hmm. We're gonna move on. So October 12th, Jael Peñaloza tagged me on both, which by the way fucking sucks because I can't mute this thread because I'm blocked. So I just constantly get responses from this, and I can't actually mute the actual thread. It's really annoying. I wish Twitter would give me that option. But anyway, she goes
psychological warfare.
Yeah, basically, she goes, recently, Hopeless Peach YT / That Rebel Rosie has kept harassing me and my husband with fake and exaggerated arguments. So remember that. She starts off by saying fake. Every day, she makes a post spreading rumors about how we are pedophiles, not true, or that we hide group, very true, on our Discord server community, which is completely false. Again, I don't get why she thinks that we are, that I don't believe you are. You can be gross around children without being attracted to children. You can do that. Sometimes even predators aren't even pedophiles. Like, pedophile. Anyway, we're not going to get into that discussion, but whatever. So, moving on to the second point. We've got... I'm sorry, I'm being slow with this, but I'm just bitch. So, she continues. Even since I cut off contact with the people from the GTC and their Skype group, we have focused on growing up as a person, and thanks to that, we were able to keep our Discord server and community a safe space for people of all ages. Claiming otherwise is just invalidating all the hard work people like Crystal, our Pingu, have done to keep our community safe. So before I continue with the other one, let's try and keep point by point. So she starts off saying that it's all fake, but then addresses, albeit briefly, addresses the Skype group. So she acknowledges the Skype group is real. We'll go into more of the Skype group in a moment. And then she says that we've focused on growing up as people, and thanks to that, we're able to keep our Discord server and community a safe space for people of all ages, which is not true. So since she's not showing what I'm actually talking about and only showing one snippet, let me show you what I'm talking about before we continue, so we're all on the same page, because Jackie doesn't want people on the same page. So we're going to talk about, very quick rundown of a predator in the Underverse server, Jackie Animation server, which I've found out about. So the basic rundown, I don't have oh, there we go, the timeline breakdown. We'll go through and I'll bring up screenshots as we go. This is something that I shared on Twitter, where they basically came to me. The person who sent this is still a kid at this point in time, so that's why their name is censored out of this, but they brought screenshots, so it's fine. They basically put, at this time, me and a couple of others were working on a document on Artie-chan, the person I spoke about in my part 1 on Glitchtale. You know, the horrible bitch who lied about her age publicly when she was caught sexting children. And specifically on the 14th, we were around 5 days from releasing it and putting it on Twitter. Also around this time, a couple months ago, a victim who I won't name since they're trying to move past all of this also released a post talking about how they were groomed by Artie. When the grooming happened, the victim was 15 and Artie was 20, claiming later to be 18, saying she lied about her age. Remember that. That is a common tactic that she does all the time. Don't you remember when she was on a call with us and she said, "Oh no, I'm 21, not 22, so I was 17 when this happened, not 18." Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do.
So, she has to say that because Artie posts her real age everywhere. Fucking everywhere. So, on the 14th, the person you probably know as Hyperion/Mart, he has his own child victims, by the way, joined our server claiming they banned Artie from Nick's and Jackie's server because at the time they were a moderator. Just FYI, the reason why Mart was against another predator is because they had an argument. It's literally it. Been through the mod logs and it's so dumb. TLDR, they all knew that Artie-chan had a Discord server where they sent porn to children, but and they didn't care, and all of that, didn't really give a shit, but then they had an argument, and then they were all like, "Oh, let's expose them." That's literally why. So if you ever think that Mart's noble, he isn't. He just isn't. He just decided not to defend this one. Upon doing this, they were questioned, and Artie went to Pingu, a moderator in Nick's and Jackie's server, asking why they were banned. After some time, Hyperion went to us saying that they may need the document we're working on, and while we weren't done with it, we had the victim story and some images from the Betty server. The Betty server is the Lolicon server where she sent, images to children. Despite Nix and Dredd, the other admin at the time, being sent this information of a victim story, they shot down the ban of Artie claiming that as long as she didn't do it in Nix and Jackie's server, it would be fine. They unbanned Artie, saying that there was a lack of information of her being a danger to minors. Even after this document was released on the 19th of January, 2022, not 2023, it was enough to ban her from Nix and Jackie's server. It took a whole 8 months and a statement from Crystal about their story in order to get Artie banned, and in this time, Artie was sent over 1,000 plus messages and interacted with the community regularly in general. The worst part of all of this is that when this was brought up to Nyx, they instead got mad at Hyperion for leaking mod chats and not the fact they sheltered a predator for a whole 8 months. Nyx issued an apology, but I can no longer find it, and I didn't think it was genuine then, and I sure as hell don't think of it as genuine now. So, I could make this whole thing and start showing how Artie's a paedophile again, but we won't do that because we've already done that in part 1 and she admitted to it all. So we'll jump straight to what they're talking about in this conversation. So the deleted user is Mott. They deleted themselves because, you know, they got caught for being a bit of a creep. And they come in, they're saying that Artie joined Jackie's server. As soon as they saw it, it instantly banned her. And come in saying later, I was questioned since apparently nothing had happened there. Then I briefly explained that Artie isn't exactly sweet uwu being that did nothing wrong uwu. She apparently went to Pingu asking why she was banned. No update on that. So they then go that they might need the document, the Artie one with image proof. I think this is the same screenshot, actually. I got sent... I spoke to another one in that same group who corroborated the story. That's why the screenshot color's different. But yeah, they're saying that Artie was unbanned. Bad decision, but you did what you could. Apparently, as I said, but you can do... Did you give Nyx the document? Yes, I did. Victims' names, post, the document, all of that. And then you've got the screenshot to corroborate the fact that they were banned. So this, because you need as many screenshots as you can from somebody like Mart, sorry, there's too many creeps.
Well, real quick, let's go ahead and address that. How many creeps have you found so far?
Oh, so far? Oh, that is actually a tough one. It used to be 16, and then it's getting closer to 20 than 15, I'll say.
So, 20 people in this server that primarily has children in it because it's Undertale related. And nobody saw an issue with this. It's amazing.
10 were specifically close with Camilla Cuevas. Either as a mod team or one of her IRL friends or one of her very close online friends.
And of course, she did nothing when she found out. She just kept them around until they got exposed to a larger audience.
Yep, definitely. So this is the screenshot showing that Mart was actually telling the truth, that they did ban Artie at this point. And, you know, that's literally it. They're even saying here, ready to show the DMs if they don't want to believe me. This happened 3 years ago when I was 18. That would be... that's not how maths works. When I was 18, they were 15, genuinely had no good feelings for them and nothing else happened at all. I had no ill intention with them. I'm confused what I did wrong. So they admit that they were 15 and they say a fake age. Nyx was their friend. They would know that's a fucking lie. So it's a bit sus. And then, if you think that that's all bad enough, I now want to show you a screenshot from the mod chat. This wasn't in DMs. This wasn't away from Jackie, because this is... you'll see what I mean. 2 things that Jackie has been saying has been proven to be a fucking lie with her own husband's words. So let's go into that.
Amazing when you get destroyed by your own doggone husband's words. That's amazing.
Right? So... Dread says in the mod chat, if you can't see that, I know that cropping's a little here, but mod chat, Dread puts, that's her stuff and not our concern. If she does something here, we handle it. Nyx the Shield says, she doesn't do it here, so it's not our problem. So this isn't Nyx saying, I don't believe this information. This isn't Nyx saying, I'm unsure about whether... this is proof that she's done anything wrong. It's she doesn't do it here, so it's not our problem.
Mentality I do and genuinely hate.
Dread says if she wants to make a porn server and give NSFW roles, that's on her, not us. Knowing then that they agree that she is sending this stuff to children and they don't care. Mart then says, I think that's not the issue. It's the fact we're allowing someone who did that in a server full of children too. Dread says she can't do it here. She isn't even in that server anymore. So they know what she did, and they don't care. And then this is the statement that I believe has basically shot Jackie in the head. Because her own husband has said something in a chat where she can see that kind of crumbles her whole thing, everything. He turns around and says, Mart, you play games with Veer and he groomed people a decade younger than him. And I'm not judging you for that. If I see any sign of something fucked up happening, I will reconsider. So what does that mean in this situation? Because what I gather from this is the whole fucking lie that Jackie keeps perpetuating of, I didn't know what Veer did until the end of 2022 when Crystal came out. That's a fucking lie, because what does this mean? What did Jackie think when she read this? What is it, a fucking metaphor? What do you mean? And the
What's
fact
a metaphor, certainly for this.
And also, on top of all that, if Nix and Jackie were not okay with keeping Veer around literal children in a server that Nix himself was a head moderator of, the Glitchtale server, not the Universe server, why would they keep Mart around in their moderation staff if they hang around a known predator? But no. Nix instead says, you play games with Veer and he groomed people and I'm not judging you for that. Basically implying, so you shouldn't judge me for wanting to hang around Artie.
Right.
What do we do to people in Senate when we find out they hang around predators?
We bully the living daylights out of them before making them run out of server crying.
And I'm pretty sure.
And then we shut the door behind them.
Yep.
We shut the door behind them.
Not only that, but you get fucking blacklisted, mate. We make a note.
We do. And we find out you're in any other servers, we go to that server staff and let them know too.
But no, these people are basically saying you get to keep a predator, so we get to keep a predator. And
Why does your mom let you have 2 hot dogs?
So,
The mentality.
So the fact that Nick said this in the mod chat definitely tells me that Jackie also knew about Veer. So this isn't just a Nick's thing. Jackie hasn't said as much, but that's basically what they're doing. So now that I've gone over that and we've all gotten onto the same page, I do apologize. We went very far off track, but oh well. This is why we're back here. So after knowing all of that, that's what I was last talking about. The fact that Jackie then turns around and says, you're just, that we keep our Discord server and community a safe space for people of all ages, knowing that they kept Artie-chan, a predator, in their server. Claiming otherwise is just invalidating all the hard work people like Crystal or Pingu have done to keep our community safe. Ah, I see. So now, instead of using her husband as a shield, she's going to use Crystal as a shield, because that's something that they like to do. Crystal and Pingu, by the way, are the only 2 people who nixed the whole, allegedly according to him, did the whole, oh, my wife's gonna kill herself speech. 2 people who are also affected by the Glitchtale staff. That's why I don't put any ill will on Pingu. We may argue, because that's literally what's gonna happen when someone's very dead set in their beliefs. I'm pretty sure if someone met me while I was around my groomer and was trying to tell me stuff about it, I would have been very headstrong. And I'm not saying it's the same situation. I don't believe Pingu's been groomed by these people. What I'm saying is that they're still in that community, so the lingering after, you know, the after effect of being preyed upon is still there. But so you know, we're not putting any disgrace on Pingu. They were a child. And also, just to add on before we continue, why did Jackie have a server mods who were children? I just have to know. I just want to know why. Why would you do that? Because if you know anything about having Discord servers, people will come in to spam very certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Very certain things, and just to prove that as well, so because Jackie knew this as well, because it was literally spoken about in the Skype chats. Where was it? Oh, that's in my other folder. So bear with me. I've been doing a lot of changing around. Skype screenshots. Do apologize. I should wear glasses at this point. But that's not gonna happen. So basically here, all these are kids. One of them is not even 12. To my understanding. It's not even 12. And they're saying, I need help. Someone was posting porn into chats. I banned them, but they delete their accounts so pics are visible. I need help deleting them all. That was said in a chat full of the adults who put these kids in charge of their social spaces. So why are you putting children as your moderators to begin with? That's very disgusting. Never do that.
Very creepy behavior.
Yep. It's very disgusting behavior. If you're asking someone who's fucking 11 to 12 years old to deal with this, you're a piece of shit. So, we continue. We also tried to help our mod team and offered our support. We never forced them or exposed them to situations they didn't want to handle. Oh, so the children just chose to handle when people would just spam porn.
Yes, it's the children's fault.
Of course they're not going to say that they're uncomfortable because they want to help someone who they're parasocially attached to. And that is not to demean the children in any way. Because we all have been children. We've all looked up to celebrities, even if you're like pre-internet days, pre-content creator days, you looked up to celebrities, you looked up to musicians, you looked up to all these people, and if this person turned around and was extra friendly to you when you were 12 to 14 years old and was like, hey, do you want to be part of the special squad and really help out? You're not going to say no.
Yeah, taking advantage of what a child wants to do to try to manipulate them is horrifically wrong.
Exactly. That's literally what Jackie is doing right here. Children can't consent, is what I'm trying to say. Jackie continues, none of us were prepared for the sick people we had to confront over the years, but together we were able to take action against them. You shouldn't be having to work with literal people in middle school to help you deal with child predators, NSFW spammers, and anything else like this. Because on top of that, we've been talking a lot about the sexual things that can happen with mods in servers. But on top of that, if somebody really hated Jackie, for instance, they could go up and go, I want to dox Jackie. But what if they can't find Jackie's address? They'll go and start spamming the address of their friends. And where do you start looking for their friends? The people who are closest to them. Their mod team. Their husband, which would be in the same place. So that would kind of negate the point. But we've seen this happen before. Senate mods, for instance, have been attacked by certain people. I know that you can't go into loads about it, but they've been targeted just by being moderators of a Discord server.
Right.
So why are you putting children, which, by the way, are very vulnerable, don't understand right from wrong, don't understand internet safety, and also on top of that are rightfully distressed when something like that happens, because of course it would be a very distressing situation. They don't understand what could happen from a dox. They don't understand the ramifications. And they don't understand what could happen, what couldn't happen, like an adult could. Because on top of that, a child also then has to grapple with the situation on, do they tell their parents that has happened? Which the kid would be more worried about then having their internet access taken away. So then they're put in a situation when they could be potentially putting their family's life in danger. Because the kid genuinely can't differentiate between what is more serious. So
that, and kids also don't have the ability to think three-dimensionally, and adults by nature have to understand that, because they understand there's a difference between adults and children. It's why whenever I've had to unfortunately deal with a child that wants to do predator hunting, I'll sit them down and I'll ask them questions, and one of the questions I ask them is, all right, why is it dangerous for a child to do predator hunting? And of course, their response is, well, because they could be preyed upon, but I won't. And my response is, actually, no, that's one reason, but it's not the main reason. And I'll explain to them the other myriad of problems that they didn't even think about that comes with that. So yeah, people know children don't think three-dimensionally. The only reason they give children a position of power in situations like this is because they want to be on that kid's good graces for whatever reason. And that's just freaky.
Oop. Check DMs. One moment.
Is it yet another fire meme from Crystal Flame?
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. Since we're talking about this, Crystal's asked if we could say a few things. So since Crystal was a mod, since they were a child up until adult, yeah, I'll bring you in for a bit. Obviously, Crystal, you are on break, so we'll have you on this section and we'll move on after that. So while we're on the roll with this, do you think we should do on roll now, or do we? Yeah, no, I've been sidetracking this whole time, so we might as well. I was gonna pretend that I was somehow going through the fucking response as if like I've been doing it in a timely manner anyway. Fuck it. That's just not true. Alright, let's get Crystal in here. Fucking British. Yeah, no, sorry guys. It's the charm. It's the charm of my ADHD spirit. I just go in and then I just don't go. So we've got Crystal in here now. And yeah, if you're all worried, because I am realizing that the way I do things is probably different than from other streamers. So I will be going through this as more in depth because I do kind of go on little tangents, but we will always center focus to this. That's why we kind of got Lio here. It kind of keeps me on track a little bit.
Is this the Crystal Flame, the one and only Crystal Flame?
No way. Is this the real Lio convoy and the real Hopeless Features? This is wild news to me.
I am, in fact, the real Lio convoy who was featured in Jar's accusations of grooming video. Yes, that is me.
Oh my god, that's where I met you. This is so true. Oh my god. Huge fans of both of you. Okay, so there is one thing I would like to address because you mildly touched on it. About Jackie, Nynx, and Camila being these celebrities.
Yeah.
And I think it's something which isn't touched on enough, especially in the circumstances of me and the other victims in the Skype chat. It's a very heavy dynamic to all of it. One thing I do want to make clear, I still haven't addressed my feelings on the matter of all of this, and I'm gonna have to go for therapy to deal with that, but this is one of the aspects I have gone through and I would like people to take into mind. Mind if I speak about that, if that's okay?
Yeah,
What
no
you're here
problem.
for.
That's what you're here for. So,
Okay.
yeah. So talk about what the kind of thought process that you had, because just to clarify for people who are watching the stream right now, how old were you when you were brought onto the respective Glitchtale and Underverse moderation staff?
So for the Glitchtale one, I was around 14 years old, like freshly 14. So only just branching into my teen years. This is when Undertale first came to be. So it was the end all be all of everything. And Jackie and Nynx were in that chat. I think they got added maybe a few months after me, if I remember. Again, this is all very blurry, and there's no way I can jump back to the chats. So you have to rely on blurry memory there.
Yeah, the most I can able to corroborate on that side, just so people have a little bit of an idea. The Skype chats that we're able to export, they only went back to 2017, and obviously Skype is different from Discord, but that was essentially the reason for the Skype chat, I'm presuming, to eventually be the moderators. And I do have proof, obviously, since it only goes back to 2017, that the only one I could see that joined in 2017 was Nyx the Shield. Before that, you've got your Camillas, your Veers, your Jackie Animations. They were in the chats pre-2017. So yes.
Most likely. And there was an issue with like accounts with Skype. We had to make a new account. So again, if you look in the Skype chat itself, I have like 3 accounts in there because I keep on losing my password. Anyways, that's beside the point. The main dynamic, I want a lot of people who've been following the Glitchtale situation and now the Underverse situation is to put yourself in my shoes and the other children, their shoes. The way how I saw it, I became this huge fan of a brand new series, a brand new game called Undertale. The new thing, oh my god, sans Undertale, this is huge. I became a mod by pure absolute chance. It was during a Darker Yet Darker live stream and Camila Cuevas was animating that. And because I was, a 14-year-old idiot, I was trying to mini-mod in the chat, trying to keep the chat under control and everything like that. Just the annoying fanboy, fangirl behavior every 14-year-old does. And with that, for some reason, Veer saw me and he was like, I like what you're doing here. Would you like to become part of the mod squad? And then with me being 14 years old, I was like, that's extremely unlikely because, I look up to Camila Cuevas, but, I wouldn't pass up the offer. So I'd be like, yeah, sure, that'd be amazing. And then Camila finishes, let's call it drawing, even though that's a bit positive in the relation to what she does. She chucks me a message on YouTube DM when that was a thing. And she added me into the Skype chat. And for me, at 14 years old, when you are looking up to these online celebrities, the 100,000 subscribers, 200,000 subscribers, it's, as sad as it sounds, it's life-changing to a 14-year-old because you're like, oh my god, I've been noticed by the big leagues. I'm a moderator for the real Camila Cuevas, the biggest Undertale animator out there. And with that, you want to say everything right. You don't want to speak your mind. You just want to impress Camila Cuevas and all the other huge people in that Skype chat because you're a massive fan for them and now you're a moderator for them. And with that, it's just the idea of people seem to forget that I used to look up to these people. Generally, like they were my heroes. That these were people I generally cared about and generally just thought were amazing. And that they took advantage of me and so many different people, so many different children. When we all looked up to them, thought they could do no wrong, thought they were basically God themselves in the equivalent of Undertale form.
Yeah, so
and instead of protecting us... Okay, go for it.
My mistake, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, instead of protecting us, instead of them explaining at such a young age that this isn't okay, that Veer should have been banned, and they allowed us to be taken advantage of is just sad, if anything, looking back at it, because I'm 21 now, the same age that so many adults were back when I first joined the Skype chat, and I could never, ever imagine allowing this to happen to a child, let alone a whole group chat where it's egged on. One thing with that as well, you were a bit confused about the extra chat which Veer was talking about where he shared images. I have context to that. This is all going to be off memory because, again, 2017 is the cutoff. So Veer told me in DMs that there was this extra group chat, which I was never invited to, thankfully, where it was him, Nick / Dr. Daddy, what an amazing name, kill me now, B and L were in, and there was another person, I never found out who that was. Within that, they used to share imagery and art which Veer requested. So it was just a place for depravity, and where, to no end, it was just normalized more and more to these poor victims. It's only because they found out I was assigned male at birth that I was never added into that chat, to my understanding. And that's just really sad to think of, you know?
It's terrible.
So, I do want to ask a few specific questions, just so...
Go through it.
So first off, we got a little sidetracked. Probably my fault. I can't even remember. The age in which you became a moderator for the Underverse server. Do you recall that?
Underverse server. So I think I was freshly 18 because this is when I came out of care.
Oh yeah.
So when I came out of care, I was like, okay, I'm better now. I got my therapy and everything like that. I can jump back into communities. It's going to be awesome. You know, new Crystal, new me. I've dealt with my trauma.
Yeah.
And it's when I came back from everything, I jumped back into the Glitchtale crew. I eventually became mod for Ninx and Jackie. Even because I knew them from the Skype chat. That's why I got mod. So they remembered me from there. With that, it was after going through 2 years of therapy of adults saying, this is not okay, what the hell did you go through? As you know, that's one thing I would like to dig into as well, with how brainwashed I was. When I was in care, I had very intensive therapy. I'm talking 1 or 2 sessions every week. So 104 sessions in total, because I was there for 2 years. And they would explain to me how what happened to me in the Glitchtale server or what Artie did to me wasn't okay. And I didn't believe them. I generally thought tooth or nail that it was okay because these people cared for me. You know, the Glitchtale crew, it's Camila Cuevas. Of course she cares for me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm her admin. Why wouldn't she care for me?
Yeah, so to kind of try to go on there, so yeah, to ask more about, just to go on, so just to reiterate for people, just so it's clarified here, you're an adult the entire time you worked with the Underverse server.
Freshly an adult.
Yeah,
we're talking freshly.
Yeah, so that's fine. Did you know any children in the Underverse server who were moderators?
Dread was a moderator at the time, and they were a child.
Yes, from these were they a child in the screenshots to do with Artie at that time?
Oh God, I'm trying to think of time. I think they were 18 at the time when they sent those things. If I remember, I could be wrong there, but I think they were 18. Yeah,
no problem. And Pingu as well, since they're mentioned in this thread.
Okay, so I think Pingu's age is Inishiwan. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think for a bit of time they were for a very brief period of time, they were minor while being a mod for Jackie. Again, I could be wrong here, please. This is just me going off memory because, you know, questions.
Yeah.
But for a bit of time, they were a child, and then for the rest, they were an adult. And they are also a victim of Artie, sadly.
Okay.
So just please
yeah.
keep that in mind.
So to ask, because I'm going to go back and forth between both Glitchtale and Underverse, specifically because you have the experience of being an adult in one and a minor in another. So I want to be able to start asking questions. So since Jackie's up on the screen, I'll ask about her first. With the Artie situation, where Artie was in the server in 2022 after a document had been made about her actions, did you see the doc personally yourself at that time?
Okay, so for context of that, because Artie is my groomer, anytime I saw any chats about Artie, I would just scroll by because panic response. But looking back on it, like what I remember, there was a huge chat about Artie, and the document was shared there, and everything was like that. So yeah, that was definitely seen by all the moderators because it was a very small mod team. And again, I will completely take fault for not seeing it myself, but it was just a panic response. Anytime I saw it, I would just scroll by.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't want to hear anything about Artie, because every time I heard, even today, even though I've dealt with her in the Senate and she's been exposed and hopefully is behind bars now, I still get that panic.
Yeah. No, I don't think there should be any fault for you or Pingu especially to have kept them there, especially because, again, even when it's been explained consciously what these kind of people are, it takes a lot longer for the subconscious and the habits to be able to start properly getting taken over and back to normalcy, so to speak. So with the situation, were you ever asked personally about Artie, considering the fact that Nyx was aware of Artie? Was anyone asking for your opinion?
No. It took people long enough to even see me as a victim of Artie. I still think some people don't view me as a victim of Artie, and that really hurts.
Those people are wrong.
Yeah, no one really asked me about Artie, because during the time when I was in the Glitchtale server, for example, me and Artie was grooming me openly. Everyone knew it was a thing. My name was even Artless, because my old name was Ruddles online. My whole Discord name was Artless. It's not like it was hidden, and no one there, the staff, adult, whoever the hell, called it out. And people just assumed I was okay with Artie, even though I was a kid struggling. And during the time in the server, in the Underverse server, I was never asked about it. Me and Pingu may have very, very, very briefly talked about it, but that's as much as victims would speak about their abusers, because they're feared to talk out about it, because, that's what happens with victims.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It is sad. So to move on to just to be able to clarify about what it was like to be a moderator as a minor for somebody who you look up to, I wanted to I wanted to ask first and foremost, were you ever put in a position, whether moderating an argument or leading anywhere up to explicit content, were you ever put in a situation where you had to moderate something that was out of your depth for your age?
God, I would never dare to put a minor in a position I was in with the Glitchtale server. For example, I saw my first live leak clip from moderating in the Glitchtale server.
Oh, fun.
To have an idea of how bad it was there. I think one of the worst cases I actually dealt with was when I was freshly 18. There was a user who was, I can't remember the exact circumstances, but there was a user who was breaking down in the Glitchtale server because they got banned, that power of social relationship. And he was spamming moderators in DMs, just saying how he's gonna hurt himself and everything like that. And everyone, the mod chat was just saying, that's none of our business. We don't need to be concerned. This is the Glitchtale server, just to be clear. We don't need to be concerned by this and everything like that. Everyone who needed to be aware was aware. And I just sat back and I was like, what if they do? What if they do something? And I click on their YouTube channel and they were live streaming them hurting themselves live, and
Ugh.
I had to basically completely out of my depth talk to them, get them in Discord call, message them, try to calm them down, and thankfully I don't know how the hell I did it, but I was able to calm them down, able to get them to patch up their wounds, and able to inform their mother. And thankfully that person's doing well now, and I still talk to them every so often. But no one who's freshly 18, like literally like days into it, should ever have to deal with that. If we're talking about stuff when I was a kid as well, oh god. So yeah, you already saw the Skype chats where we had to deal with explicit images. This is something I actually remember quite vividly. Actually, it was in the fan art channel when the server was quite new, and there was zoo imagery spammed in the Glitchtale server, and everyone, all the kids were panicking on how to handle it. And I had to spam ping Strurlock and Camila to actually deal with it, and actually Ditto as well, to inform now known predators to help me dealing with zoo.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
kids should have never had to deal with that. Never.
Yeah, no, that is horrible. And yeah, as you were saying before, the main reason why you were doing was because you wanted to be part of the Undertale community and around people who you looked up to.
Absolutely, like especially a lot of kids use being online as escape, from what they're going through in real life, and I use that on a multitude of occasions, quite actively, quite dependently. It wasn't healthy for me, and I realize that now, and if I could take it back I would. But Camila, at the time, as sad as it sounds, was everything to me. The squad was everything to me. They were my best friends. They're the people I knew the most, and what I thought they knew me. And I would spend countless nights failing my actual exams in real life to mod that server, to take care of it, because it was a Glitchtale crew. It's part of the squad I was in, and I never wanted to disappoint Camila. Yeah, it just wasn't good. It never was good. A kid should never be put in that position, especially when you look up to them, especially when that's that power dynamic, haha, big YouTuber. Looking back at it, I think it's stupid, but I understand why I was in that position. I understand why I cared so much, because I was a kid desperate for approval, and sadly Camila was the one who appeared to give it to me.
Is there anything, because we are going to move on from this topic, so you can
All good.
keep bullying us again, I guess, in the back there, because I see you, Crystal. Is there anything that you would like to tell the audience here right now before we move on to the next section?
I think the last thing I'm gonna say, because again, it's like I've said so many times, I'm leaving online, and then I just reappear for the millionth time, is that this generally is like the last appearance I'm thinking I'm gonna make in all of this. And a lot of this I do want people to take in mind, because there's a lot of funky little tweets on the Funny Bird website right now about Queen Seraphina and you Hopeless Peaches and you Liar apparently manipulating me and taking advantage of me and using me for views and clout. One thing I can say 110%, if it wasn't for these people who some people are claiming are these manipulators, these evil people, there would be so many people, so many depraved individuals still in the Glitchtale server, because I would have believed it wasn't that bad. Because the Glitchtale crew, Camila and so on, had such a grip over me. If it wasn't for all these incredible people perpetuating my voice, perpetuating my story, and so many others, the server would still be there. V would probably still be there. Camila would have not been getting as much flack as she has right now, and there should be more. She's got away with so much, and she never should have. So with that, the last thing I'm going to say is that I'm truly grateful for everything Peaches has done. And there's some things me and Peaches disagree with how we've handled things, but that's how it is. We have different opinions on this. Right now, I'm not able to form my emotions, my feelings, and how this has affected me into a document or video form. Hence why I'm going to be leaving the internet for around 1 or 2 years, so I can get the therapy, so I can fix my life, and then I will finally close this chapter of my life, because while I've been doing this, while I've been supporting so many kids and victims in the background, I've had to push my own feelings to the side, and it's really shown online, because people forget that I'm a victim. I've been through a lot, but I've able to push that to the side. But a year or two from now, I'm going to explain it the best way I can, to explain how it has been for me, how this has affected me, because these are people I did once look up to, and now I'm known as the person who exposed Camila Cuevas, you know, when I never wanted to. I never wanted to face all this trauma. I never wanted to go through all of this, and I really wish an adult before me, an adult in that Skype chat, called it out, but it never happened. But hey, that's just a...
Jesus.
It's just a theory. A game theory.
Thanks for watching!
Well, I hope that you can see, by everyone watching right now, and myself included, you've been very brave with it. You've done very well, and you just now need to just let all this shit like be in the past, because
Exactly.
Because
as Camila said from the very start, just move on. It's not that hard.
Just
I
move
should have
on.
just taken her advice. I should have just taken her advice. Goddamn, Crystal Flame Clout Chaser. Goddamn.
yeah, it's
But no, I'm gonna be getting that therapy. Gonna be processing this shit. Gonna be touching grass. I know, Discord moderator touching grass, unheard of. But yeah, that's my plan. Again, thank you for all the help you guys have all provided,
Well,
and I hope the truth will prevail.
We can give you an opening to it, and you can make what you want if you want. I can do that for you real quick.
Oh,
All right, let me see if I can get this right. Last time we were here, we took a look on whether or not Crystal would be able to move on from her past or from their past, talking about therapy and other things, but we don't know. We've got to wait for the lore. Will Crystal be able to push through, or will they come back the next time Jar says something goofy on Twitter and they have to tell all their oomfies about it? We don't really know, but that's what the theory's here for. Let's delve in.
Open. See what are you here for, two. Goodbye.
Well,
Bye, bye, besties.
Bye. Now let's.
Bye.
All right, now let's continue, because I see some people in chat thinking that that us two are stopping streaming. Nuh-uh. I told you we may go on tangents, but we're still going through everything that Jackie said. So
At least until you get exhausted and say we'll do it later.
no, because we're going through this shit. We're only on like part 2 of an 8-part of like the 8-parter hit.
Oh boy.
So we gotta continue, because look, this is the same thread, by the way. If you're worried, if you're wondering what is going on, she did tag me twice in the same thread, because she just wants to torment me knowing that I can't mute it. So Jackie continues. Hopeless Peach YT / That Rebel Rosie is obsessed with us, claiming that every action we take is to hide something, or that we're trying to silence her abuse, when it's the other way around. She completely ignores the abuse I had to endure. First off, I don't understand why she's saying we're trying to silence her abuse. I've not talked about my abuse. It's very confusing to me. I don't get it. I don't know if it's a typo, but she's done this twice now. It's very strange. And I'm just like, does she know who I am? Like, is she mixing me up with one of the kids in the fucking Skype chat? Like, have they been speaking to other kids? Is this a fucking Danderwolf situation? I don't know. But in this case, she's literally showing a tweet that I made. Would love to know why Jackie Animations / Jael Peñaloza. See how I didn't tag her? Because I know how annoying it is. Was talking about finishing, to put it mildly, onto the bodies of 2 minors in these chats. These kids were below the age of 15 years old, and Jackie was 21 years old in these chats. This is how I found out I was blocked by her. I don't even know what I did. Yeah, she's been mass blocking people who follow me. So if you want to be blocked by Jael Peñaloza, follow me on that Rebel Rosie on twitter.com. Oh wait, no, x.com. Do it.
No, we will dead name Twitter here. That is how this works.
Yeah, we dead name Twitter until they make it a good site. I say she's been blocking a lot of people who interact with my Twitter, then telling her Discord nothing's going on and she's innocent and sad and wants money. Which is true. Let me get this up. Jackie response, Discord. Where is it? Okay, so this is the one that I saw. That she put. The day my... I think the 8th? Was that the day my video went out? I think it was. I could be a bit wrong. I could be off by a little bit. She puts, I want to make it clear, on Nyx's and I's behalf, we've been working hard on this server to keep it as safe as possible since day one it became a public one, even when it was a only Patreon private server. We've got a lot of people all these years complaining about the rules, complaining about how strict they are, how we have to react against problematic topics. We've been working like that for a reason, and we'll keep doing our best to protect everyone and bad people. Saying all this doesn't mean we're ignoring things we have said years ago. Unlike other people, we learnt from it. We learnt a lot. We still do. And we recognise what we did and what not. It doesn't mean we're unredeemable and will allow people to get hurt. Children get manipulated and abused. Adults also get manipulated and abused. What a way to respond to me talking about Skype chats. What a way to talk about Skype chats. Let me see here. Where stuff like this was said in the Skype chats, where Vera is saying, I feel like if Orange had a sexual experience with another woman, a 12-year-old, he's talking about 12-year-old, she'd just harshly bash her own face into the woman's crotch over and over. Jackie, seeing this, says, it's too early for this, Fair. It's too early. Talk about kids when I'm more awake. Golly. Or maybe, talk about when Veer, in these chats as well, saying also, Orange, of course, I write fanfiction. I just changed the names to protect privacy. The sexual misadventures of Orange and Link. They're laughing. Don't forget the Toast, which was a common ship name between two children. And as it moves forward, Jackie is reading these conversations and she sends an image of her own face, basically flipping them off, saying, as he then continues, the soggy sexual misadventures of Orange, Pink, and B. So, what happened to being really mad about these conversations? Conversations where one child is telling another child that they're too young to be listening to this. Yeah, not the adults, the children. And then,
amazing.
And then Veer's here also in the conversation. I mean, Nyx here is just going, Veer, stop. And he's like, and then Jackie's like, yeah, Veer, yeah, bro, fucking, you're so cool. Obviously, it's just so fucking dumb, right? That she sees all of these and she's like, oh yeah, kids get manipulated and abused and adults get manipulated and abused. Oh, I didn't realize that you were being groomed by Veer. Oh wait, no you weren't, because you were 21. You were 21 and you were all chatting. Like, I know that Veer's a piece of shit. He's a fucking pedophile. He's a groomer. He does a lot of terrible things. I wouldn't be surprised if he was constantly being a twat to everyone. But imagine just letting it happen to children because it's not your problem. It doesn't matter to you. You're not saying anything. You're not standing up for the children. And then you're going, yeah, but we can get manipulated too. What the fuck? So she continues, if anyone someday needs help to find a solution in cases you're going through online abuse, if you think someone can potentially be dangerous for this in other communities, let us know. Nix's DMs are open for our mod DMs are usually open as well. My DMs are not open because I'm dealing with enough anxiety and more brain stuff, but I'm always aware of what's happening in the server. So if you talk to the mods, blah, 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 blah. She doesn't even say what she did at this point. And also, yeah, also she's... It's just what the fuck. It's just a whole big what the fuck. So
make sure you hydrate.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. So, oh my god, go back. The lid. So, don't mock me, boy. All right, continuing. Next, Jackie's thread continues. She has gone to the extent of saying I announced Underverse 0.7 Part 2 to hide something when I planned to announce the animation on my birthday months ago. I mean, considering everything, that you gotta give me at least a little credit on that one. You know, considering Nyx was threatening Crystal with Jackie's life for some reason, and then like, oh, I'll just harass Hopeless Peaches so she's off the platform.
Scumbag.
Right? So, isn't it? Yeah, I'm gonna think it's a little bit suspicious. Anyway, she has constantly made fun of my abuse and mental health, bitch where, and has stayed completely silent about all the hate messages, including death threats, that she and her community has sent my way over false accusations. So that's something to break down. Let's break this fucking down a moment. Just break this down. Okay.
Break it down now.
So Jackie shoves so many fucking lies, 3 big lies, into just one tweet of this thread. She has constantly made fun of my abuse and mental health. Literally where? You can go through all of my video, all of my tweets. I've not deleted any. The most I did was delete one when I was pissed off, saying that I'm mad that... I don't even remember. I was fucking drunk and then deleted it because I was like, I shouldn't pick fights when I'm drunk on Twitter.
Or should you?
But I did tweet that after this as well. So even if for some reason I did like say something in a deleted tweet then, which I didn't, but like even if I did, that still wouldn't, she must have seen the fucking future. But anyway, she goes, she's constantly made fun of my abuse and mental health, which isn't true. I would love to know where. The only time I brought up her mental health is when Nyx used it to threaten someone. And I'm like, nuh-uh, sir, you're a scumbag. I didn't turn around and go, by the way, Jackie's fucking lying about her fucking mental health. That's a load of bullshit. And the abuse? I don't know what abuse you've been through, love. I even said at the end of my video, if you remember, I said, did Camilla treat them poorly? Probably. But I don't care because I've seen the Skype chats. I've seen his history, and I don't think Camilla being a bad friend is more important than you all being creepy to children.
But being a bad friend is just the worst thing you can do, obviously.
It's like she came out of fucking the art commentary community 2020.
Right?
And then she goes, and has stayed completely silent about all the hate messages, including death threats, that she and her community has sent my way over her false accusations. So one, she's saying I kept quiet. How could I even know if I'm blocked? I don't go out of my way to just watch your fucking account. It's crazy. And it's something that she obviously knows I'm blocked because she had to block me. I don't go out of my way to watch everything they say. I heard that she made a response, and that's why I see this response. Calm your tits, love. And then she says, including death threats that I sent. So apparently, Jackie's saying that I personally have gone out of my way to send threats of harassment and violence, death, to her personally.
And I will clear that up right now. There is only one person on God's green earth that Peaches here constantly threatens the life of, and that's me.
So, she says me, but also my community. And
yes, your community is very well known for apparently telling people they want them dead. Interesting.
Which, if she said some people in your community sent death threats, right? I'd be like, you know what? Maybe they could have done. Some people are absolute cunts. I don't agree with it because one, you're dumb. Two, you make Crystal look bad, which is shitty. And three, you give these motherfuckers ammunition to make threads like this. On top, like, I don't really give a shit about them as people. I don't, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie and pretend I am, because I don't want to lie to you guys, even if it makes me sound bad. I don't give a fuck. But I wouldn't say go harass these people, because you're literally making the victims look bad and give these people ammunition to make the victims look bad. It's dumb. And on top of that, people are trying to actually have a discussion, not just use it for endless violence. Because I know the people who usually send death threats don't really care about the situation. They just want to be shitty to people. All they would have seen is Jackie exposed for X. I could have said Jackie's exposed for tracing, and people would do that. So I know that they're scum. But we're gonna go through the proof that Jackie actually put herself as proof of death threats.
It is great. I love it. I love it so much.
The proof, the ultimate proof that both me personally, Hopeless Peaches, sending death threats, as well as my community. Let's go through them, shall we?
Share screen.
Have I not been?
No.
Oh, my mistake. I forgot.
We switched rooms, remember?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. So, okay.
Okie dokie.
Here's the first one. Here's the first proof of death threats.
I will read this. I will read this.
Okay, go.
Bro, what the 2-ton F? I looked up to this man. I wanted to make animations in the future on par to Underverse. Give higher standards. But now another childhood memory is tainted. Because now it turns out someone I looked up to did on minors. WTF. First Camilla. Now Jael effing... Now I am not saying I support what those guys did. I am saying the fact that I looked up to these people makes me sick because they had good things in their hands, and then when they go and do stuff like this, it hurts people like me. What? Because we love their works, but they wind up doing crap that makes me sick. Feeling like the fact that I like their works puts me in the you support the pedo-transphobic etc. camp. Not saying Camilla and Jael are transphobes, but some works of other people I liked, the person in question was a transphobe. J.K. Rowling, for one. Like, come on! Is there one piece of work I can say I like without the person being made it? Wish I could just see Hades and burn?
And also...
So he says that...
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead. He's saying that, like, he wants them to go to hell. That's not the same as saying he wants them to kill them.
Right. And also, on top of that, I know Jackie used either one of her friends or an alt account, or it was just a very strange coincidence, but I had this one account constantly hounding me to publicize my last stream on this situation, and the moment I did, Jackie's like, well, we gotta scour through this, and then they had a whole stream. We'll get to that. But I know that they're listening to this. This guy doesn't swear. That's why he didn't say damn bastards and all that stuff, because he doesn't swear. It's not him censoring the violence sent to you. Okay, the next proof of death threats is this screenshot, which is someone deleting their pledge amount to their Patreon. One person put drama stuff, so literally we don't even know what that is. $10, and then another is $1. Discovering
I'll read
evidence.
this one out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll read this one out in a country accent since somebody wants me to, apparently. Discovering evidence that Nix and Jackie knew they had a child groomer as a mod on their Discord server.
Which is true, because we already went through that proof. So Jackie's now saying that losing $11 a month out of potentially quite substantially a lot more is death threats. Oh no. Going on to the next one. I guess you can read all the quote-unquote death threats, Lyle.
I will. Alright. I'll go with Frieza this time. Not many people are still aware of the horrible things Camilla, Nix, and Jackie have done. I've considered making a YT video myself to try and spread more awareness. Some people are genuinely unaware, and while my thread is getting attention, more people need to know. I've already made an account on TikTok, and will do posts on these 3 eventually. So far, I only have posts promoting Peaches, Serafina, Oranges, and Crystal's videos.
Oh wow, what a death threat.
Monkeys!
And I guess you can continue with Frieza because they quote retweeted me showing all the proof about the Artie situation with saying this, which is apparently a death threat.
Boosting this, please read, especially if you are in the UTDR fandom, or if you're a fan of Underverse X and Xtale, #Undertale, #Undertale EU, #Underverse, #Xtale, twitter.com, blah. Clearly a death threat.
Oh, there, death threats. All right, this is another death threat, apparently.
Ooh, another one. I see.
Yeah,
Jael Peñaloza is a death.
like, I did put a disclaimer in the chat earlier because people were starting to say stuff like this before. I'm not exposing these guys for being, into kids. I'm exposing them for not doing shit when their friends were into kids and were making it very known. Anyway. And also keeping them in the server. Okay. Another threat coming your way.
Another one. It's Jover, bros. I got blocked by the kid diddlers of Underverse. They didn't like me.
And continuing on with the same guy.
Ooh, I wonder if I can do this. Welcome to Watch Mojo. Today we're counting down our top 4 child groomers from the hit Undertale animations. Number 4, Nix the Shield. Number 3, Jael. 2, Devour Deb. And number 1, we have Camilla Cuevas. Glitchtale crew staff when they see minors. Please hi, and tagging a bunch of people. I know they like you too. Yes, very, very much so death threats. I keep seeing all the genuine threats of death here.
Mm-hmm. Just so they can't say that we're cutting context, we're going through everything that Jackie said's a death threat. So we got somebody in a server who I don't even know how old this person is, saying Nix when the age of consent is 18. He's coping that it isn't 8. Which, again, guys, there's the creep, as well as the other 15. Nix and Jackie only defended them and was perfectly fine with them being creeps in servers, so please.
I'd argue this person's probably a minor. I'd argue that person's probably a minor because they have, like, a freaking, has-been hotel profile picture.
Right. And then they show this, which...
Oh, goodness.
Good lord, that seems like a fucking annoying person.
Oh, I've seen this person around.
Yeah, that's...
Honestly, they're not a bad person, but it seems a bit overkill in this case.
This is definitely overkill.
What's the countdown for, though?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, hold on. Pull that back up, please.
Oh,
what date was that put?
October 10th.
Okay, because they were counting down something, and the initial post talked about an event happening?
Yeah,
Weird.
I have no idea.
Well, Gator will probably listen to this. They could probably tell us in the comments or whatever, because they're pretty common around these parts.
I don't think I don't think that's the same gator though. It's not the same gator that you see around a lot. So
well, they
then
both use purple, so I don't know.
You got another threat?
Oh, okay. You and your wife are scum, and I hope you both rot. You're a stain on the Undertale fandom and Latino community, and I can't wait for you to get thrown in jail and find out what we really do to child predators who try to normalize that. You're all predator apologists, and you should all be in jail. Effing tired of pedophiles getting to run loose because of spineless cretins like you three, especially when you took part in these conversations, you sick pedophiles.
Again. You're fast people who are attracted to children. But I also, though, can't even fully blame people for saying this shit because, like, you're gonna look bad when you're being creeps around children. Good lord.
And not recusing yourself from people who do tend to be creeps around children.
Yeah, like, if you're constantly around creeps around children and supporting them all the time, people don't like that. So then you've got someone else basically saying disgusting behavior, worse than a pig, almost worse than Camilla, giving hope and manipulating a victim. I thought you were a good guy. Go rot in a jail cell.
These are death threats. Go to jail as a death threat.
Go to jail as a death threat, apparently. She still hasn't shown screenshots of me sending her death threats yet. I'm surprised. Where are they? So this is another threat against thine life.
Okay. Can you make it a little larger? Still a little hard for me to read.
Haha, old.
Oh, there we go. Never mind. I got it. I don't think child predation is really drama, but go off, I guess. This totally doesn't downplay Nix and Jackie's involvement with endangering children at all. Also, Nix and Jackie have had multiple chances to come forth and take accountability for what they have done, but chose to run away like cowards. They want to keep this perfect image instead of acknowledging their wrongdoings. Another one who flees from accountability. How shocking.
Yeah, and finally, this is the last group of threats that she showed.
I'm so disappointed in you, Jael. After hearing all that came out about this whole drama, I am just disgusted. I encourage not to support Jael or Nix anymore. I'm so disappointed. None of that is racist, Nix. Stop supporting groomers and go pet some grass. Also, just an FYI, your music sucks.
So yeah, that is literally everything that she shared. And that was proof that I go out of my way and personally threaten them, and my community goes and threatens them too. It's okay. That's a reach if I've ever seen one. People saying that they're pedophiles.
Reach.
Genuinely though, people who say that they're pedophiles, you are wrong. To be that, you'd have to be into children. At the same time, you can't be around chats constantly sexualizing children, partaking in it, saying these kids have done worse, trust me, and expect people to not think that you're a little sus.
That's just a mogus.
That's what you call people not liking when people do that. So we continue. With, she has constantly made fun of my abuse and mental health. Oh, right, okay, I've done that already. So that's just her showing all the thingies. Thingamajiggy-mabobs. Yep. Okay, so. As I already cleared with the people on my server, I am not ignoring what I might have done in the past. Might have done. What I might have done. Did you do it or did you not, Jackie? Is the question.
The answer is you did.
You did, Jackie. They keep jumping back and forth because if we just want a reminder just constantly as we have this, she started this by saying this is all fake information. Just an FYI. Just an FYI. Everything that I shared in my video, everything, a fucking lie. Okay, so continuing on. I will always live with the remorse of not being a better person from the start. I will have to live with that, but I have spent years trying to become a better person and fix my mistakes and never repeat them. Again, with both the close circles and my followers, but having someone that I don't know exposing my mental health problems, making fun of them, accuse me of suicide baiting. So we're gonna stop that right there. I never accused Jackie of threatening their life.
Correct.
Literally quite never did. What I did was call out Nyx for using it. And now she's here lying. So she's constantly lying all the time throughout this entire thread. So
why you always lying?
So yeah, she's like, oh yeah, so she's got a remorse. She's got remorse of not being a better person from fake images, apparently, according to her. And then she's like, oh, they exposed my health problems. No, they didn't. Nyx did. We didn't.
Rude.
Nyx did. If you are unhappy, Jackie, with your husband threatening victims of the actions of the Glitchtale crew with your mental health problems, and you have a problem with it, you take it up with your husband, the person who you go to bed with every night, instead of fucking around with him and then coming online and getting pissy that people that you victimized are now mad that your mental health is being used by your husband, and you do this shit and lie about it. So now, before, when I made my video about how Nyx was using your mental health, if you watch my video, if anyone saw that, where I said I didn't think that Jackie was a part of anything, I thought that Nyx was talking out of his arse about her. Because I didn't see any proof beforehand, before getting the Skype logs, that she did anything wrong. Remember that from my video? She would have remembered it from my video because she went through my video to try and pick it apart. The only reason why... So now that she's sat here defending her husband, spreading around her issues to threaten people into silence, that is what makes me suspicious. Genuinely, that's what makes me suspicious. You either grow a backbone, you freak, and tell your husband that you don't like it when he uses your mental health to threaten people who are nearly a fucking 10 years younger than you, or you shut the fuck up. Correct. You're either upset with everyone who brings your mental health problems to the public for nefarious needs, or any need at ever, or you're not at all. Because you can't be mad at the people calling out your husband's actions and your husband's threats when you're not mad that your husband did those things in the first place and used you as a shield.
Yeah, you'd assume somebody with that name would have his own.
She's a fucking cunt, I swear to Christ. If this is what she's saying.
Talking about fucking cunts, here's another point where...
Yep, go ahead. I'm mad. I'm fucking mad.
I can tell, I can hear it. I can hear it in your voice.
I'll be right back.
This is a point where, again, I want to interject because I feel like it's something I need to say before, I dip for like a year or two. This thing of people putting their life on my hands is something what happened to me on a multitude of occasions by many people when I was younger and of present age. And it's something where I feel a lot of people, apart from you, Peaches, have overlooked. Because I don't think people understand the genuine emotional and mental impact this had on me. Because Artie did it to me in the past with putting her life on my hands, making me have a suicide pact with her. Veer did it with me if I dare spoke up about what happened. And to have Ninx do it to me when I saw these people as my friends, it really, especially with everything I was going through, especially with dealing with so many depraved individuals, it was such an emotional toll on me, and I could never say it publicly because during all this I've had to have a very, very brave face so I could be brave for other victims. But when Ninx said that it's a life or death situation, even though I was recording, I had a panic attack and I didn't know what to do, and just being put in that position over and over and over again by adults in this fandom, especially when I'm trying to put a brave face on it, it's just not fair. I should have never ever been put in this, yet again, this position. I shouldn't have to feel like people's lives are on my hand. It's not fair to me as a friend, let alone a victim. Because imagine this, these people you look up to for years since you were a kid, these people you've tried to get into close circles with, these people you trust, these people you look up to, these people's content you divulge into, put their lives on your hands when you're already so close to breaking. Because during all of this, during dealing with all these depraved, disgusting individuals such as Veer, Artie, Skater, Mark, and so on, it took tolls on my mental health, but I kept pushing, I kept going. I always just said, just one more. Just one more. But after having that put on me, that pressure, I don't want to go into too much of it, but having those lives being put on my hands, I took an attempt on my own life a few weeks later because all of the pressure got to me. I felt like even though I saved so many, I saved nobody because I couldn't make everyone get on. Because at the time I saw both Peaches and Jackie and Ninx and as my friend, and as I said in the chat, I wish everyone could just get along, but that's because I was panicking, because I wasn't mentally stable, and I'm still not, because I've just been put in unholy positions, being put in the position of a child predator exposer or the person who's meant to get the truth out, but deep down I'm just a victim who's had to get out there, had to get the truth. And again, I'm probably repeating myself, having my friends again and again and again put their lives on my hands are not fair. Now, I don't know if this is suicide baiting, I don't know if it's not, but in my position, it wasn't fair to me. It never has been fair to me, because these people are older than me. Every single time, these people have been older than me. And this is the only time where I've been an adult, where my friends put their lives on my hand and I didn't know what to do. You can even say, Peaches, when I came to you, I didn't understand how bad this was. I didn't understand the implications of this because it was normalized. I've been used like this so many times that I really didn't understand why you were so angry at this, why people were getting so up in arms about this. It took me to take an attempt on my own life to realize how serious these claims are against me. And it's not okay. It never has been.
No, it isn't. And the fact that, and this is why I've got so much anger towards it. Because Jackie now knows that it's a threat. Because that's what it was. In the very same thing, he brings it up because he got called out that he didn't say something. He brought it up because of that, and then straight after he says that he'd then harass me if you don't stand by him as well.
Yeah.
Like, and then he puts the whole suicide thing wedged between those two things. If Jackie genuinely cared about you, and they heard about this, they would have been condemning Nyx, not you, for calling it out.
Because I even said to you, Peaches, I feel bad for getting this out there, for like, you know, saying about Jackie's mental health. But it's like, what about my mental health? What about my well-being? What am I meant to do? Not speak about it, just keep it down? Because there's something I did with the open letter, and I'm going to say it here. I don't know if you noticed I did it in my open letter, but I made it clear. We released a screenshot of Nick saying that he's going to jump off a bridge. Yeah, that was the screenshot, which was public, and we had the DMs private. What I did was say, why would you do this to me, Nick and Jackie? Why would you put your lives on my hands? Like, that's not fair. Do you even understand the... Actually, give me a second to actually get my open letter, because I really do like how I worded it. 1 second. Because it's actually the letter what got completely shit on, because both Nynx and Jackie quote tweeted it, and it really shows that they... How it feels from my point of view, at least. Feel free to disagree. They only owned up to what was shown at the time. Let me find it. Where the hell is that? Sorry about this. Okay, I found it. I had hoped when everything came out to the open, you both would acknowledge the mistakes from our Skype chats and publicly say, we messed up back then, Crystal, and that's not who we are. But unfortunately, that acknowledgement never materialized. Can you imagine the pressure that I felt, the fear that my closest friends, maybe even both of you, might take your own lives if I didn't engage in Twitter drama? That fear drove me to a panic attack. Yet I haven't talked about it because I felt like I needed to be strong, especially dealing with such issues as child predation. Amid all this, I've noticed how others tend to prioritize their own concerns while hardly considering how I'm holding up. It's like my mental well-being is taken for granted just because I've dealt with it for this many months. Because that's what it has been. There's been so many people who've come to me for help.
Yeah.
But never take a second to consider, how's Crystal doing? How's the victim holding up in this, you know?
Yeah, because they don't care.
Because when we said that, Nynx only showed the jumping off a bridge one, and he made it out that I was misunderstanding it. I think we both remember that, where he said, it's misunderstood, it's misinterpreted. When he said all of this to me in DMs, and it was more of a test than anything to see if he would own up to it. And he didn't. He lied. He lied to his public audience and used it against me on Twitter to harass me. And this is, again, after all the stress I was felt. And definitely, again, I'm not going to say this was the main thing that pushed me to take an attempt to my life, but it did definitely add on to it, because it felt like a repeat from October 14th, when I came out about Camila and so many people were attacking me. It was the same thing, the same wave, the same attacks, the same death threats. Because as much as, again, I will say it, because as I pointed out in this chat, you know that person, Eduardo Fetzer, saying, Crystal Flame, I want Jackie die so much right now. I want her to suffer so much, and Underverse must be cancelled right away. Thanks for showing us the truth. I've received so many messages like that in my own DMs, from Camila's fan base, from Jackie's fan bases, from Nick's fan bases. And I've never once seen them ever condemn it. I've never once seen any of these people... Actually, no, Nick and Jackie have said in the sense of don't attack Crystal within the doc to a certain degree. But that was only after them mentioning me multiple times. Because I quote tweeted it, even though I know of a tiny audience compared to all of you guys. I said, yeah, I don't stand by this at all. Do not wish death on anyone, no matter who it is, no matter what they've done. Not to Nynx, not to Jackie, not to Camila. whoever the hell else it is not okay. And it makes it harder on victims to be taken seriously. And this is deranged. And I will stand by that. Sending death threats to anyone in these circumstances doesn't support anyone and makes it harder on everyone. You might think you're cool, you might think you're edgy, you might think you're defending the right side, but it's deranged. Never, ever, ever do it to anyone.
Yeah. So
because sorry again one more time, because Jackie actually showed that in her Jackie showed that in the death threat she got, yeah. But she only saw that because I quote tweeted it, and she removed me condemning it. She only showed the quote tweet. She saw me saying this isn't okay, and purposely cut that out. That's so harsh, you know? Because they've never said don't make death threats to me. They've never said this, and the one time I do, it gets quoted out of context. It's just not fair in any sense.
yeah, no, there are. Which I will show on screen, but yeah, we'll move on from this point because
sorry.
I know that it's gonna affect you, and I know that you were hanging out with your bros, which is a lot more chill. And then we'll move on and continue smacking this woman around. But
so you go ahead and you go decompress and go, hang out with the boys or the bros or the Jar fan club.
Oh,
go hang out with them.
I love Just a Mover.
Go find more Raj, like deep hidden lore and game theory. That sucker. We got this from here.
That's the plan. No, so sorry if I just keep on jumping. There's just been these few things where I've wanted to say for the longest time, but I knew I never had the chance. But now it's like, okay, I can interject here. I can say how I feel because again, a thing with this, I'm not trying to be like, oh, feel sorry for Crystal, but definitely a lot of this, people have forgot that I'm a victim in this. I struggle with this. I have my own mental health because how people are trying to portray Jackie and Nynx as victims of Camila, they are literally forgetting me in this, the one who had to deal with this emotional state, the one who made an attempt on their life from this. It's just wacky. Anyways, Just a Robot, I love him. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So, to continue on. Oh, my golly.
To continue on.
Alright, okay. I had a fucking lag there. Holy moly, I'm dying. Alright.
Here we go.
Alright, okay. You fucking made me lose my fucking place.
Well, how is it my fault?
Because you did. Because it is your fault. Everything's your fault.
Alright then.
So, continuing with what this woman's saying. Accused me of suicide baiting, which is funny because they would know that I would literally not call people suicide baiters like that, but whatever, slay queen. They then show this screenshot, right? Apparently this is damning information. So one person goes, I think Pingu is 21 ? I put yeah, I just know that Nyx also admitted to pushing his ideation on them too. They put, what the fuck? I put, that's the only other person he told Crystal at all about Jackie's suicide attempt when he was threatening Crystal. Quite literally, how do you see that? How does Jackie literally see that and somehow a condemnation of me and not her husband? What the fuck?
Dane Bramage. But also I love the fact that they have somebody in your server like watching and looking and listening.
Right? It's so weird. And also there's kids in that server and by the way, the adults don't care that you're watching. The children care, Jackie, but I know that you don't care what children think anyway. But you're married. How would you react if your wife was using your personal shit to threaten people? Would you go be mad at the people calling that out, or would you be mad at your wife?
Wait, real quick, was this in your server or in Sarah's server?
This is in neither. This is in Crystal's server.
Aw, shoot, and I was gonna have some fun, but I'm not in that server, so I can't have that fun. I thought it was in your server, so I was gonna add everyone. It's like, hey, whoever's spying on us for the sake of Nyx and Jackie, just let them know. I'm gonna rob all their transformers.
Don't say that! They've already... No! They already think you're gonna go fucking rob them. Oh,
Clearly, God. I'm well known for many things, including burglary.
All right, but like, you have to actually answer the question, because according to fucking Jackie, if you don't respond straight away, then that's because you're hiding something.
What was the question again?
Oh my god, you're so old. I asked if your wife was doing what Nyx was doing with your personal information, would you be mad at the victims or would you be mad at your wife?
I'd be angry at my wife. I'd be extremely livid. It would not be an okay thing.
Wow, it's almost like you can't use the "he's my husband" excuse. So, oh my god, I got atted for the 3rd time. I didn't even realize. So, wait, what? Oh yeah, so everyone that knows me knows I've struggled with this since I was a teenager, and also accusing me of a crime that I've never... Wait a minute. So, hold on. So, Nyx is telling Crystal that the only other person who knows about her ideation was Pingu. Another victim of their friends, right? And not even Jackie's family knows about her ideation. But then she's saying, everyone who knows me knows that I've had ideation since I was a teenager. Make it make sense, bitch. Make it make sense.
Well, I guess there's a theory that her family don't know her. That's a possibility.
It's just strange to me. But then she's saying everyone who knows me. So just 2? So is it just 2 victims, or are you lying through your teeth? Did Crystal and Pingu know you from when you were a teenager? I don't fucking think so. And also accusing me of a crime that I never committed. Oh, so we're going back to the fake thing. Coolly.
It's all fake. It's all mirrors and smoke.
It's affecting me physically and mentally. What about the person who your husband is threatening? What about the person who's losing all of their hair right now, reading the kind of disgusting things you and your friends said? Somebody think about me.
To the person in chat, Maxwell, Lio, tell me, when are you going to go rob Nyx? I mean, he is with Jackie, so what if she gets in the way? I'm going to take all her Barbies.
No.
I'm going to get that Barbie dream house. I'm going to change it into a Mojo Dojo Casa house. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, God, no.
Little plastic horses. Watch me.
So, yeah. Anyway. She's doing the same thing to me that she suffered from years ago. Oh, so now you can do research. The only fucking research these people know how to do is drama research. I think that's why, that she's really hammering on the "she called me a suicide beta" thing, because she wants to try and make it as like, she was called out about it, but she also says it even though she literally has nothing on that. Continues with, I am not asking for the world to not hate me. I am asking for people to stop harassing us for things that we have already acknowledged and owned fully in the Bitch, where? Literally where? The only time you brought up the Skype chats was because I forced it out of you after you were threatening people in the background. And I can say you both now equally because you know that your husband was doing it and seem to be defending him. This entire thread about the suicide thing is literally just defending him. Excuse me. Good God. Yes, guys, just send support to my hair. You don't understand. Because obviously I'm going to lose hair because of surgery, but I was losing my hair before surgery. I didn't want that to happen. I was like, oh my God. Because, it was everywhere. It was like having, 5 dogs shedding their winter coats everywhere. And I was like...
Dun, dun, dun.
I've never been so stressed going through stuff like this. Genuinely, I haven't. I can't think of a single time I've been as stressed as I have been. Not the kind of... there's different forms of stress. This is this low this low burn, but it just slowly just starts killing you, and all of your cells and all your hair falls out and your eyes go dark, and you're just like, what is the point in life anymore? Because I have to read everything that these people say and all their friends say, and all I can think of, if I even saw my friend say one of the things that Veer did in that Skype chat, I wouldn't have been friends with him anymore. Good God. Anyway, sorry, I just...
Well, what if
just this
Veer,
for my
like,
hair. Just this for my hair, guys, please.
What if Veer kept, like, the nudes of a 13-year-old on a flash drive? Isn't that just an oopsie? A silly little mistake?
That is a silly little mistake. You shouldn't really post about that publicly.
Barely.
But yeah, seriously, people can change for the better. We are not criminals. I don't really know the legality. It depends on whether you have to... I don't know where they live. I know it's Chile. I don't really know the legality of Chile. I'm not a lawyer. I do not know. But morally, you went against basic morals. I don't know about crime. You got me there based on a fucking straw man argument that I didn't even claim, but whatever. She continues, we have no intentions to send hate to these people, but this has gone so public and we've gotten so many threats. Where was the threats? Where was the threats? If you had so many threats, you wouldn't have been having to show people going, I'm disappointed in you. Your music sucks.
Maybe they're so weak that they think those are threats.
But like, and then she tags me for the third time at Hopeless Peaches YT, at that Rebel Rosie. Thank you, Jackie, for tagging me so much. It reminds these guys what my Twitter is. Go follow my Twitter, guys. Listen to Jackie. I don't know what exactly you want from me or what you expect is going to happen, but this is the last time I will ask you to stop harassing us. I don't care if you hate me or Nyx. If you want the Undertale community to die or whatever that's going on through your head, I'm just asking you and people you sent to leave us alone.
You sent those people?
I sent them.
You can summon them?
I summoned them like fucking, like... It's like
You're a sorceress.
I'm a sorceress. This is so cool. Like some people, right, they see this and they find it annoying that she says I'm obsessed with them. Like, yeah, it is, because Jackie apparently was perfectly okay with me, quote unquote, obsessing over Camilla beforehand. So I guess now the shoe's on the other foot, she's pissing and crying and shitting herself. But, it's
different when it's not her, obviously.
But it's just wild that she's there saying all this. And the funny thing is I didn't really have anything else to say about them. I put on Twitter about it. If I see enough, at this point, if I see enough where I think I need to change things, but going through the logs, I don't know if I need to make a video specifically on Nyx and Jackie personally. Because they've kind of proven who they are, like this. And I don't really... Like, the one thing I will say is I did do an editing error. It was my mistake, not my lovely editor, Crystal. It was my mistake. I was supposed to proof watch it, and I got lazy by the end. So that's on me. I spoke about how in the chats that... oh my god, I'm losing myself. That these people sent images of Lolicon. And Jackie, to spoil everything, she's all like, if you look at this image though, if you look at it, I didn't send Lolicon. I'm like, yeah, because I wasn't talking about that image. I was, what? Like, she's literally talking about a 5-year-old character doing the hanky-panky with, like, an adult character, which is sus. But if I was talking about the image, I would have specified the image. But anyway, to to show what I was talking about, so it is on my channel, to change that. Here's the image that I did mean to put on screen. Where basically it's Veer saying, oh, lightsaber sans, oh, Nyx the Shield saying, best sex of my life, LMAO. Veer goes, sends this image, I don't know what it even means. And then this other guy sends this image of, that was the point in time where I realized there was no candy. And considering that, you know, this is two actual predators talking like this, and Veer's laughing and not giving a shit that they're sending that, yeah, I can be mad. Because the thing is as well, is that Jackie and Nyx are trying to twist it into, Claire, I am going to actually ban you from chat. I don't know if he's saying that ironically or not, but you're being an actual twat.
Who? Oh, we're talking about Maxwell?
Oh, Claire.
I don't see clear. Where are they?
Well, they're gone now. Anyway.
Rip Bozo.
So basically, these people are now trying to spin it as, like, oh, well, we didn't do it. We didn't do it, so it's fine. You know, like, we didn't do every single thing. You didn't have to do every single thing. You actively hung around these people and then lied to your audience saying that you didn't know what Veer did until 2022 for Jackie and 2021 or 2020 for Nyx. That isn't true. You knew for a lot longer than that. And you partook in those conversations. So, I'm going to show you from some screenshots of what Veer was saying in this Skype chat in front of all of them. And then you guys decide, would you have hung around and been friends with this guy and kept him around children if he was talking like this? So it goes in order.
Yeah, I'll read it out for you. Hurts, man. With that expression on your face. You seem really unsatisfied. Yeah, you weren't big enough. Cammy, he insulted my honor.
New moving.
Beat him up, please. Please. Lamau. Cuddles, what did you say? I see nothing. This is Camilla in the chat, by the way. I need to tell Jesse that my girlfriend is stronger than his girlfriend. I accept this. WTF.
Continuing.
LOL. Back to Veer. The real Slim Shady needs to sit the F down because he got fat. Is it hard being a 15-year-old rap god? The only rapping you do is wrapping your tongue around this dick.
Hmm.
In mind, Cammy did see this earlier too. She interacted with the chat. She knows what happened.
Yeah, they all know. This is all in the chat. All in the chat,
Hey,
where, by the way, just to go through the members of this chat, let's put it on screen now. Artie, Camilla, that Magic Gamer 100, I'm not saying his fucking other name, is Jael, I64, Link Wolf, Nyx the Shield, Pablo Cuevas, Sir Veer, Strelok, like, excuse me? And also, because she's jumped out of the chat now, Jackie's also there. Jackie's also there. And Jackie pretty much told on herself, rip Jackie, with a very specific thing she said. I feel bad for her that she said something so fucking damning. Jael Peñaloza reads everything in this chat.
Everything in this chat. Everything.
Everything. So, what is it that you were reading, hun? What is it you were reading?
Gross stuff about 15-year-olds and peepees.
Uh-huh. You know, stuff like... There's so many things. There's so many things. You don't have to be a predator to be a predator enabler. And you don't have to do an action to be a predator enabler. Because guess what? Inaction is also an action. And this is the kind of thing that these people don't understand.
Yep.
If you are an adult and you're seeing this, all this stuff, which, by the way, I'll be showing everything. Yeah, Queen Seraphina jumped into the chat to try and scroll up and it didn't really work. That's why I turned around and was all like, guys, you do realize you can ask Skype for your history back, right? Sarah's a little silly. But, essentially, it's just crazy.
But this is all fake. We all somehow made this.
Yeah, this is all fake, apparently. This is all fake. I'll have to get... I think at this point, nobody's really denying the screenshots. But if they want to turn around and say the exports are fake, I'll just try and get... I'll see if Crystal wants to give clearance, because, you know, to at least open them up live on stream or something, because I can't go into the chats because there are children who would never be able to give clearance because I don't have contact with all of them and I don't want to accidentally expose them. But to open them up initially, it does mean seeing Crystal's dead name, and I really don't want to just give that out willy-nilly for like 2% of people who think these are fake. But yeah, so it's wild. And they make me mad. Okay. They do make me mad.
As they should, because they're freaks and creeps and weirdos.
And the other thing is that the to try and find myself here, Jackie and Nyx could have redeemed themselves. I don't know if they can at this point. They've definitely dug their heels in so much. And I know that some people would question if you could ever could. That is up to personal opinion. For my opinion, if I saw those Skype blogs and Nyx was being genuinely nice to Crystal and so was Jackie, I'd think I would genuinely think, you know, these people have genuinely learnt the error of their ways, and they do want to support things. Because, again, they're not predators. They've not preyed on children specifically. They've just enabled the predation of children, which is still a very horrible thing to deal with. And if they were genuinely remorseful, I could understand that guilt really getting to you. But there's no guilt. They don't care. Otherwise, they would have said something. They wouldn't be threatening people. And that's why I wanted to make this stream. I'm so sorry for the choking that I'm doing constantly, I swear. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I don't think they actually mind.
Well, still. But it's the fact that even then, like, even when I was making my video, I I was more focused on Nyx. You know, that's why I did this whole thing on Nyx, because Nyx was the one threatening people, threatening his own life, threatening his wife's own life, allegedly behind her back at that point. Now I'm not so sure, considering that she's so quick to jump and defend it. But
it's an absolute mess, and it's not one that they're interested in actually cleaning up. They're just angry that they're being taken a task on it.
exactly. They've only now addressed it. Nyx's document they made after my video was just him bitching. Like, oh, I was a friend to Crystal and never addressed the Skype chats, pretended they weren't real. And tried to pin it as like, no, we just love friends. What friend says they're going to try and get a predator out of a Discord server, then just doesn't bother until it goes public and hurts your reputation? He doesn't want to talk about that one. He doesn't want to talk about the "it's a Latino" comment. Actually, now,
unless it's a way to try to paint you or me or anybody else as racist.
Yeah. Now, right? More Nyx than Jackie, though Jackie's now getting to hints with it, are trying to claim that I'm a racist because I don't believe the "it's a Latino" thing is an acceptable response to all of this. And on top of that, they can't say that they've been trying to help themselves since this Skype chat when they lie about the contents, literally start their entire, like, opening thing about it by saying that it's fucking fake. By saying it's fake.
That's who these people are. What they're like. Evil people just operate like this. That's why they tried to use Crystal as a shield. Now they're just trying to double down by putting out what they know is incorrect information, because they know that most of the people listening to them are either stupid or children or both, and will just blindly follow what they say without actually looking at what was actually in that Google Doc. They know what they're doing. They're being intentionally malicious.
They're being malicious. They don't have to be predators to be malicious.
Correct. And we don't have any evidence of being predators, but we have evidence of them ignoring predatory behavior. They wanted to keep one as a pet, as a treat.
Yeah. So, I don't want to take this live stream to keep going forward, to keep going around and around in circles, because we will start regurgitating the same points. But I just really wanted to hammer home why I've been calling this out. And it's because this shouldn't be normalized. I spoke way back near the start of this stream that years ago in internet culture, it was normalized to be very raunchy and gross around children, to the point where we got a culture. Everyone now who's sat there like, oh my god, how can there be so many YouTubers who are groomers and blah blah blah? It's because the culture of the internet, especially a while ago, was normalizing sex and sexual conversations with children, to the point where they thought that it was normal and didn't have any warning signs in their brains going up when people started being grosser and grosser to them. And people like Jackie, people like Nyx, people like Camilla, people like Strelok, people like everyone in that group chat who didn't prey on a child, helped prey on those children because they enabled it and because they normalized children as young as 12 talking about sex with adults.
Correct.
And that is why I call this out. So Jackie sat there. Sorry, go ahead.
They're all to be condemned for their actions, because they know what they did, and that's why they're scrambling so hard to try to damage your credibility. Because if we do that, we won't have to deal with the repercussions of our own vile, disgusting actions. Exactly.
That's what it genuinely feels like. Because that's all they're doing. That's why they have to jump on the, oh, she's racist. Oh, she's this. Oh, she's calling me a suicide beta. Oh, don't look at actually what all the bad things are being said. Don't look at the fact that none of us gave a shit when Veer was literally shipping children with adults in front of our eyes, because we moved on to talk about Crash Bandicoot, so it's okay, we weren't joking about the kids anymore. Grow the fuck up. So yes, anyone who's wondering why I've been calling this out and why I'm as stubborn as I am about it, is because I know that children get preyed upon because we as adults have failed at teaching them what is and isn't okay. We've normalized it all. Jackie's normalized it. Nyx has normalized it. Camilla has normalized it. And are we any better? Are we any better if we sit back and don't say something about this stuff? Go, oh, we should call out the predators, but don't talk about the people who enabled it and put them in the situation to be preyed upon. How are we changing anything if we don't call that out? Are we really actually helping any of the kids if we sit back and go, well, we haven't groomed any kids and we've not been sexual to them, so it's okay. If you have a platform, if you have a way to try and change how things are being spoken about around kids, you use that platform. And I don't expect everyone to have to do that, else they're a bad person. Not by any means. But I believe that there hasn't been enough activism to try and change how adults talk to kids, whether they're predators or not.
Correct.
So, I'm sorry to make that on like quite a more depressing note, but just had to be said because it really upsets me as somebody who was groomed the entire time I was an adolescent online. It just hits a chord, like just hits with me because I know that I was normalized with it by people who preyed on me and who didn't, and I kind of want that to change. And that's why I'm not continuing on with Jackie and Nyx, because they're not the people I'm trying to appeal to. I'm trying to appeal to other people who are seeing this and don't quite understand what's wrong. I just want to say what is wrong. So thank you everyone for listening. Do you have any final points that you want to say, Lio?
I think it's absolutely disgusting that these people cannot sit there and own what they are, and they refuse to actually acknowledge it. Instead, they actively lie about you. They lie about everyone else. They try to paint a literal joke that was obviously a joke as a threat, because they said they didn't know what the cops were, and I said, haha, I will go rob them then, as though that is actually a threat. These people know what they're doing. They're calculated, they're stupid, but they know what they're doing, and they're scumbags, and instead of trying to keep kids safe, they just keep saying what they did was fine. Well, I didn't know. Well, here's evidence, you know. Well, that's fake. That's a lie. And they prey on the naivete and goodwill of their community to try to be a shield against what they've done. But right now, people are pouring through these logs, and soon enough, it's going to be released to the public. Every single square inch of garbage. Good luck.
Yeah, I do know that I'm sending the Google Drive to at least one YouTuber, and anyone else who wants that drive, even if it's before ready to be publicly released, if I'm able to have a one-on-one conversation with you and at least talk through some of it, you can hit me up. Until then, gonna just be working on the Google Drive and then get it out as soon as possible, because I've made 2 videos on these scumbags. And I really don't want to be known as the anti-Glitchtale woman for the rest of my life, because as much as I feel passionately about this, when it's gotten to the point where all my hair's falling out and I'm constantly sick all the time, maybe take a step back and just let other people just let the evidence speak for itself than me having to speak for it, because at this point it does speak for itself. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully the next video you'll hear from me would be at least slightly lighter. I mean, I've got one on Yandere Dev that'll be coming out. It's nowhere near as in-depth as anything with the Glitchtale stuff. I just have a few of my own opinions about the situation because there's already amazing videos out there talking about the details of what's happened, so I'm not going to step on their toes. And then after that, especially in the new year, I'm hoping to just completely detach from these kind of topics because good lord. So yeah, I really do appreciate everyone coming in. I appreciate anyone who has been on the fence and not quite sure. I know a few of you have been in the chat, and I appreciate you coming in to at least listen to sides. Very much appreciate that. And yeah, you'll hear from me maybe in another decade or so. Upload every Friday.
Every Friday.
Okay, see you around.